This Rosh Hashanah, can you give yourself permission to believe? Permission to believe that all your tefillos are being answered, that HaShem wants to and is going to answer all your tefillos. He's already answered them. He's going to give you everything that you desire. Can you give yourself permission to believe that this Rosh Hashanah? Can you give yourself the permission to believe that HaShem wants you to believe that? He wants you to believe that He's your loving Father who's literally waiting to answer tefillos. He's waiting to hear from you. He's waiting to connect. He wants you to make Him your Father, make Him your King. He wants you to just connect with Him, and He wants you to believe that He is answering all your tefillos, and He's giving you everything you desire. Health, wealth, whatever it is that you desire, He's giving you that. And it may be hard because you might not see how. You might have dreams, you might have hopes, you might have goals, and you might not know how or see the way. But can you give yourself permission for 2 days to just let go of the ego, let go of the parts of you that feel like they need to control, the parts of you that feel like they need to have all the answers figured out, just for 2 days? Can you let yourself have pure faith, pure emunah, pure bitachon, and connect to Hashem from that place? Just allow yourself, give yourself permission to believe. All parts of you, let all parts of you know, embody it in your body, feel it, that your tefillos are being answered. Can you give yourself permission? The human nature, it is human nature, and you can probably agree with this on many levels, but we have a human bias to constantly believe in the negative. We constantly project future outcomes that we don't want to happen. We constantly believe and give power to negative thoughts, to thoughts and beliefs that we just don't want. And we might say things like, yeah, I really want this to happen this year, but it probably won't. Like, why do we do that? It's just human nature, because we're here to work. We're here to we get dragged down by the negativity, and then our work is to just keep climbing, keep overcoming. So for these 2 days, can you just try and focus on overcoming that negative voice that wants you to doubt, that wants to believe in a negative outcome because it just feels better in the moment to believe in something that you want not happening, because then you don't have to get your hopes up, or it's more believable, or for whatever reason? Can you approach Rosh Hashanah with prayer, connecting to God? The way we connect to God is with prayer. Can you approach Rosh Hashanah with a prayer of belief, not a prayer of begging? It may be challenging, it may be hard when we choose to believe in the negative outcomes that we don't want. Our prayers are one of begging, because we find ourselves in this level of consciousness, in this negative level of consciousness, where we've chosen to accept a reality that we don't want. We've convinced ourselves so strongly of a reality that we don't want, and then we try and connect to God and pray from that place. So that looks like begging. We're literally screaming out, crying, begging, please God, please Hashem. That is beautiful. In one sense, it's still a level of connection, but it's still a little bit disconnected, because you've chosen to believe in a reality that's not true, that you do not want. Rather, focus on your prayer, a prayer of belief. When you pray from a place of belief, that means you've chosen to believe and focus on a positive desire that you do want. So now you're in a geula consciousness. You're in a level, you're in a place in your mind, your body, your soul. You're feeling into a reality that you want to happen. You're feeling the feeling of what it would feel like when and if your when your tefillos are answered. What would that feel like? And you're feeling into that. And then you're davening and you're connecting to Hashem from that place. That tefillah is way stronger and way more powerful, not because you'll necessarily be answered. You might not be, but that's not the point. You are in closer connection with Hashem when you're in that level of consciousness. When you are in a geula mindset, when you are in that level of consciousness where you feel as though your tefillos are already answered, that means you are already feeling what it would feel like when your tefillos are answered. And from that place, it really doesn't matter if your tefillos are answered, because you so strongly believe, you are so strongly connected to God. There's no greater feeling than feeling connected to your loving Father. There's no greater feeling in the world than feeling connected to your loving Father. So this year, Rosh Hashanah, try and focus on, it's just 2 days. It might be a challenge, but you're up for it. Accept the challenge. Just try to be in a geula state of consciousness. Approach Rosh Hashanah, where you literally, the purpose of Rosh Hashanah is to just choose HaShem as your king. And that could be hard for some people if they have like Torah trauma and they've built up some false versions of God that does not exist. When you believe in HaShem, HaShem, your loving Father, the creator of the world, who literally created the world to give you goodness. When you believe in that HaShem, and I don't mean that HaShem meaning there's another HaShem. When you believe in that version, the true, the MS version of HaShem, not the one who's out there to harm you, who's working against you, who's trying to knock you down all the time. And if he is, it's for your good and it's for a better purpose, but for another video. HaShem just wants to bestow goodness on you. And this year, Rosh Hashanah, challenge yourself to get into that geula state of consciousness where you constantly believe in Hashem's goodness, and you constantly believe that, yeah, my desires are coming true. Why is that thought any less true than the thought of, hey, it's never going to happen for me? Why does it feel more true or more right? Ask yourself this. Why does it feel more right to believe in the thought of, it's not really going to happen. I'm going to beg Hashem, but it's not really going to happen, versus the thought of, why not me? It's happened to everybody else. Other people are successful. Other people are healthy. Other people have this. Why not me? Why not me? And not because you're comparing to other people, but just to bring focus on the fact, the question, why not me? Why not me? Ask yourself that. And then daven from a place where you are choosing to believe in the desire that you so badly want. Because, like I said in many videos, if you desire it, Hashem put that desire in you for a reason. You're not desiring it for no reason. So even your desire comes from Hashem. So Hashem clearly wants to give you what you desire for your good in the right time. But get into this place, this emunah consciousness, this geula consciousness, where you've accepted a reality just as strongly as you've accepted, oh, it's never going to happen to me. When you say that, you've literally accepted on a nervous system level, you've accepted that as a reality on a level of consciousness. You've accepted that as reality. So just as much as you do that, why not do it for a reality that you actually want? You're constantly choosing. Always, you're constantly believing. You're believing in A or you're believing in B. You're never just neutral. We're always believing. You as a human are always believing. You're either believing in A or you're believing in B. So if you could just as strongly believe in a negative outcome you don't want to happen, you can just as strongly believe in a future outcome you do want to happen. You don't have to get attached to it and make all the cheshbonaises of your mind telling you all the reasons why it won't happen. That's not the point. The point is, can you get into a state of consciousness where you feel in your body that the geula, the Yeshua that you so badly desire is happening for you this year, and then pray from that level. Pray from that level of consciousness, because the prayer from that level is way closer. You are way more connected to Hashem, your loving Father, who's ready to literally hand you everything that it is that you desire. So this year, Rosh Hashanah, notice when you're going into when you're going into a state of consciousness that feels restricted, that doesn't feel good in your body, it doesn't feel true, it doesn't feel like what you want. Stop your prayer, stop what you're doing, take a breath, come back to the present moment and tell yourself, hey, I don't actually need to believe in this thought. I'm going to choose to believe in the reality that I do want. I don't need to know how it's going to happen. I don't need to focus on all the proofs of why it won't happen. That's not my job right now. I don't need to control it, because God can do it better. And that's what you can say to yourself. Say to yourself, Say that to yourself. You don't need to control it. You don't need to know the how. You don't need to know the when. You don't need to know all the little details. That little part in you that tries to control everything, it can go on vacation on Rosh Hashanah, and you can step into this level of consciousness where you are fully giving yourself permission, uninhibited, full permission to believe that the desires and all that you want, the goals, whether it's ruchnis and gashmis in any part of your life, anything that you want to achieve, anything that you desire, you get to believe in that this year, Rosh Hashanah. You get to believe that HaShem is giving you that this year for no other reason than you are His child. And when you resist that, you are putting doubt on HaShem. You are putting limitation on HaShem. It's not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of who you think God is. When you don't believe that HaShem is capable, or that HaShem is, not necessarily He's capable, when you don't believe that HaShem is giving you all that you desire, you haven't limited yourself. You've limited, not only actually have you limited yourself, you've limited who you think God is. God literally created the world to give you goodness. Period. End of discussion. That is, not end of discussion. It's a whole incredible discussion, but end of discussion for here. HaShem created the world to give you goodness. And when you believe in that, you open up a portal. Your bitachon, your emunah in that itself allows for your tefillos to be answered. So this year, Rosh Hashanah, step into that level of consciousness. You don't need to know how everything is going to come about. You don't need to see 100 steps ahead or even 2 steps ahead. All you need to focus on is just believing in your loving Father and believing in His desire. Give yourself permission to believe that HaShem wants to give you everything that you want. Give yourself permission to believe in that, and you don't need to know how or when or how it's going to happen or why me or any of that. You just need to focus on believing. Choose to give yourself permission to believe in that, to believe that HaShem is giving you all that you desire, and to believe that HaShem wants you to believe in that. Can you believe in that? Can you believe that HaShem wants you to believe that He just wants to give it all to you, and He wants you to believe in that? And when you don't believe in that, it's not a reflection of, not only is it not a reflection of where you're holding in your emunah bitachon and who you are, that's okay, you're only human, but it shows who you think God is. It shows where you stand in your relationship with God. And so when you approach HaShem with the tefillah from a place of belief, hey HaShem, I actually believe you're going to give me what I want this year, you are way closer in connection to HaShem. You are in way more of a closer connection than if you jump into a reality, a level of consciousness where you are now believing in a desire that you do not want to happen. You've jumped into this level of a reality, you do not want this outcome, but now you believe it's happening, and now you're begging and trying to beg your way out of this reality. And so you're davening to HaShem from this place, and you're begging Him to not make this happen, when it hasn't even happened. It's only happened in your thought. You've accepted upon yourself a reality that you don't want. And now you're davening to HaShem from this place, begging Him to save you and to grant you all that it is that you need. But you've jumped into reality that doesn't even exist. So if you jump into a reality where it doesn't exist either, but it feels good and it feels more true to you and it feels like it is what you want, your tefillah is way more connected. And through that tefillah and through that faith alone, your tefillos will be answered. And can you give yourself permission this Rosh Hashanah to believe in HaShem, your loving Father, the creator of the world, that wants to just give you all the goodness there is of the world? Can you give yourself permission to believe that, and to believe that HaShem wants you to believe that? Can you give yourself permission to believe that HaShem wants you to believe that He just wants to give it all to you? All the goodness, He just wants to give it all to you. He just wants to answer all your tefillos. And He is answering all your tefillos, and He wants you to believe in that. Can you give yourself permission to believe that? Your Rosh Hashanah will forever be different, and your year will be different if you can work on stepping into this level of consciousness and praying from this place. Just a little side note. As you're waiting for your tefillos to be answered, at that point, that level, when you're in that state of consciousness, it doesn't actually even matter to you because you feel so connected to HaShem. There's no greater feeling, because the only reason you desire everything it is that you desire deeply, the only reason is for the feeling. The feeling. You might say, oh, but it'll give me more opportunities. I'll be able to go to more places, see more people, do more things. Yeah, and then ask yourself again, why do you want to do all those things? Why do you want to have all those things? Why do you want to meet all those people? Why do you want to go to all those places? Obviously, your neshama, your soul wants to experience that. Why? For the feeling. For the feeling. And maybe you'll say, yeah, but I'll gain more knowledge. Sure, you'll gain more knowledge. It'll still create a feeling. So when you connect to Hashem from this place, you get all those feelings that you so badly are seeking from desiring all that it is that you desire. Have an incredible Yom Tov. Please pass this message on. Share, like, subscribe. Pass this on to anyone whom you feel may benefit. And have an incredible Yom Tov, Ashana Tova, and we should see the Geula Bekarov Mamash this year. Sending so much love. See you in the next video. And if you are interested in our one-on-one coaching, the email to book a free consultation is in the description below. Looking forward to hearing from you.